Well, hello everyone. My name's Don. I'm the funeral director here at Reynolds-Jonkhoff Funeral Home. It's been my honor to help Leanne's family in the planning of this service. Before we get started, let's check our phones to make sure they're turned off or on silent mode so we can avoid any interruptions. I'm going to introduce you to Harold, affectionately known as Hal. He's going to be leading us here today. Thank you.
Well, afternoon. What a beautiful day this is to celebrate the life of a wonderful woman that you all cherished, right? Now, as Don said, the phones, right? I'm going to have my phone out made because when I spoke with the family a few days ago, they said, Harold, we want to keep it short, 30 to 40 minutes, so I'll make sure to just do that just for them, okay? So one thing I like to do before we start is taking a deep breath in, and then slowly letting it out and preparing our hearts and minds for today's service, right? As I mentioned, it is a beautiful day to celebrate the life of Leanne. And with that, we are gathered here to celebrate the life of Leanne, who officially became an angel on July 21st of 2024. Leanne was born on June 28, 1939 in Saginaw, Michigan. And she was raised amid humble beginnings with her older brother Conrad and younger sister Barbara. Growing up in the town of Getz, she spent a lot of time on Seidel Farm, which was located on Seidel Road in Saginaw. Leanne attended Peace Lutheran School during her primary and middle school years, and later graduated from Arthur Hill High School. The Seidel house was a short walk to both schools, and Leanne completed her career in high school as a cheerleader. The next step in her educational journey took her to Central Michigan University, where she majored in art. And while at CMU, Leanne met the love of her life, William Dennis, also known as Bill Smith. A chance meeting at Robinson Hall led to the beginning of a lifetime relationship. Lee and Bill were married on August 22nd, 1959, and welcomed their first son, Tracy W. Smith, on May 19th, 1960. Upon Bill's graduation with a teaching degree from CMU, they moved to Harbor Beach, here in Michigan, where Bill taught social studies and helped coach the high school football team. And while at Harbor Beach, Leanne and Bill welcomed their second son, Terry A. Smith, on September 16th, 1962. A short time later, they moved to East Lansing so Bill could obtain his master's degree in social work from Michigan State University. Lee and Bill lived a Spartan life in married housing at Michigan State University. Besides taking care of their two boys, Leanne worked full-time at the Embers. And during that time at MSU, they made some very dear friendships that were maintained throughout the years, and among their closest friends were Tom and Elsie. Lee and Bill had often a happy, humorous life together, and a very favorite story of theirs happened to be at MSU. So think of this, it's a very hot summer day, just like it is today, right? Humid, not much wind, it's hot and humid, right? Well, Bill, her husband, comes home, and after showering, he lays completely naked on the bed, resting and cooling off. So there he is, laying there, cooling off, and then he heard the screen door slam, and he heard the words, "Hi, Elsie," to which Bill responded by diving off the bed, jumping into and scraping against a nearby concrete bedroom wall. So as he lay there, scraped up and sore from hitting the wall, he heard her famous little giggle from the other room. So both Leanne and Bill loved to to live their happy, funny life together and enjoyed good-natured, practical jokes on each other, whether giving or receiving, and of course without any harmful intent. So there were a lot of words that I said right there, but some of those words that really speak out is love, family, together, right? As all of you know, Leanne loved each and every one of you. And you loved her, right? She had that opportunity to change your lives the minute you connected with her, whether it was over the phone, looking at her, giving her a hug, enjoying her famous chocolate chip cookies. She made your lives better. But you also made her life complete just by being you. Together. When I spoke with her sons over the last few days, they all said the same thing. Mom was loving. Never saw her get upset, for the most part. Always put others before herself, right? Their mom and dad were always together, just like with family, always traveling, always being together and being the light which she was in the darkness, right? Another word that I said was family. What a wonderful family they all had together. Visiting each other, traveling, like I said, enjoying the summer months, visiting their cottage and so forth. What a great reminder that was, that she was, in order for us to live life how it should be. Putting others first, forgiving one another, smiling, being the teacher. And that teaching is how to live life the fullest, right? Revelation 21, verse 4 says, it provides a glimpse into the beautiful future where God will bring about a new heaven and earth, ending all sorrow and death. When I think about this passage, it offers comfort and hope to those who are grieving. It also promises that He will take away all the sorrow and suffer, so that there will be no more tears, right? No more mourning, no more crying, but most importantly, no more pain. She's in no more pain, meaning she is an angel. She's flying high above each and every one of you. And she's a part of you, right here in your heart. Absolutely. So as the years continued on, Bill's graduation from MSU, they moved to Traverse City. Well, Bill briefly worked for the Michigan Department of Social Services before spending almost the entire work history of his social work career with Child and Family Services. And for the first 2 years, they lived on Cockland Street until they were able to purchase their first house at 612 5th Street for $10,000. The house was fully furnished but in tough shape, and the two of them spent many years remodeling their home. And it was during this time at 612 5th Street when they welcomed their third son, James C. Smith, on March 9th, 1969. Leanne focused on raising her boys and picked up some part-time work in retail to help with family budget. For several years, Leanne was a seasonal employee at Milliken's department, wrapping gifts, especially during the busy Christmas season. She did such a great job that Milliken, they would ask her to return each year. And as many as you know, Leanne's artful side was also showed in the clothes that she made and repaired while crafting various gifts and home decorations, and in the new skills that she learned while they remodeled their home together. Having only Bill's steady income to support the household, she had a key eye for good deals, strategic purchases, utilizing her famous coupons, and overall, her incredible smart financial management, which never allowed their family to feel like they were too short for money. And every summer, the family would visit the cottage on Higgins Lake. The next big move was across the street from 612 to 615 5th Street. The 615 house had a garage that was bigger, plus they took advantage of using 612 as a rental property. Their years on 5th Street provided many lifelong friendships. And during her years at 615, Leanne became more involved with retail as her boys grew older. She worked at downtown Traverse City at American Collections and was instrumental in the store adding a Christmas room. Also during the years, her crafting skills were on display through participation in local shows, and she hosted a couple of craft shows in the remodeled upstairs in the garage. This would be the tipping point in Leanne following and realizing her dream. So what is that dream? I think we all know where this is going. In 1982, Bill and Leanne purchased the property at 9005 M72 West in Traverse City that consisted of 6 acres, a house, a pole barn, a separate barn foundation, and a building located on M72 that held a business formerly known as Clyde's Antique. In 1983, they opened Country Christmas, which allowed Leanne to display her gift for crafting and celebrating the joy of Christmas. The store was open from May 1st to Christmas Eve and was well known for Leanne's handmade chalkware, her drifted Santa ornaments, her angel figurines, the collectibles, and all sorts of treasures handcrafted from various local artists here in northern Michigan. She even taught classes to support and inspire creativity in our community. Over the years, customers became friends, visiting often, even if only once or twice a year. And several became close friends. She had a positive attitude, always welcoming with her warm touch many lives, and helped bring people back to the shop to select family keepsakes so important for Christmas celebrations in the years to come. Her personal connection made their shop so special. Leanne and Bill's 35 years running Country Christmas included another store in Leland, here in Michigan, for a period of time. And while in business, they created very close relationships with their very close friends, which include Donna and Chuck, Shirley and Dave, Vicky and Mike, Esther and Tom, along with so many more. It was also during the phone call that I was talking with the 3 of her sons, is that even though I didn't meet them until today, I could see and feel the warmth and the smiles that they had when they spoke about their mom's incredible work at the Christmas store. And they all said, I don't think it's appropriate that we all play Christmas music, which we won't. But how often do you come across someone that has such dedication? It also shows you that dreams do come true, no matter the age, right? She pushed hard. She never gave up. Again, what a wonderful teacher she was. What a wonderful friend she was for all of you. And most importantly, what a wonderful mother. So she was successful. She was extremely successful as a businesswoman in her time. Leanne was even more valued as a loving wife, mother, and sister. Her most prized possession and possessions in her life were you. All the people in her family, all the people in her life. And she loved you all so dearly. Leanne often referred to her sister Barbara as her best friend. Leanne is survived by her 3 sons, 8 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren, her sister, 4 nieces, and 2 nephews. Her oldest son, Tracy, and his wife, Marcy, their children, Amanda, and her husband, Chad, and son, Andrew. Leanne's next son is Terry A. Smith and wife, Lindsay, and their children, Jack, Brady, Bennett, Finley, and Carson. Leanne's youngest son is James C. Smith and his wife, Linda, and their daughter, Jaden. Leanne also had 5 great-grandchildren, as I said not too long ago: Kayla, Harper, Mason, children of Amanda and Chad, and Andrew Smith children, Nora and Oliver, right? So what I'd like to do next is I'm going to step aside, and we're going to take a look at this video that's going to play behind me, okay? I call it the memory, the cherished moments that you all had at some point. So like I said, let us enjoy a little video tribute of her life. beautiful smile she had. In every picture, you could see that the love that she had for her family and her husband had for her. The special twinkle in her eye. In just a few moments, we're going to hear from her sons. But before we do that, I just want to remind you that it's our turn to be like her, right? When we go home, moving forward, take that opportunity to stop the world, is like what I call it. When you walk in that home, leave everything that was behind and focus on what's in front of you. Love, right? It's another thing that her kids shared with me is that their parents loved each other so much that it made it easier for them, meaning her children, to be the spouses they're meant to be. So, as I said, when you go home, embrace your loved one, your kiddos, your pets, and take it in and live life to the fullest and live like how she did. By being herself, by forgiving, loving one another, and continuing to be the child in us. Another thing that they also shared with me was her joy for Christmas. She would always get so excited when the lights turned on, when the Christmas music was going. That was the child in her still. Her dreams was still there. And each and every one of you has that inside you still. So don't be afraid to live for your dreams, no matter the age, right? The last thing is, like I said, is be the light in the darkness. Darkness is all around us, whatever that might be. So how can we be that light? Well, pretty simple. We got to be like her, right? So I'm going to invite her oldest son up, and he's going to share some cherished memories and maybe even some stories that he has while growing up. So, time is ready.
Okay, I may look the oldest, but I'm not. Tracy will follow us up at the end. My mom and dad were great parents and provided a supportive, happy household for us growing up. My mom always saw value in the relationships. She was the nicest, kindest, sweetest person you'd ever meet. I say that not because she's my mom, our mom. People tell me that all the time. I'd be at assisted living facility and they'd say, "Oh, that's your mom? She's so sweet." They loved her. And she was. My dad's nickname for her was his little chickadee. Because she couldn't stay still. Flirting all about, always busy, making cookies, crafting, finding value in everything. So, I want to share a story. If you got a close look, there's a chickadee here. Brother James made. My dad asked him to. When we were looking at for something, an urn, there were multitudes of the choices that we could choose from. And, oh, here it is. Thank you. And I saw this one, and I said, God, it just kind of speaks to me, guys. And my older brother said, yeah, me too. What we didn't know was we were looking at the backside. It looked like artwork. It looked like something she would make. So it was like, this is really cool. It reminds me of her. And we thought, that's it, let's do it. Well, about 15 minutes later, Don came up from where he was working, and he goes, hey, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you picked that urn. It was the back side. Let me show you the front side. Chickadee. So, it was a no-brainer. We'll miss you. Love you, Mom.
Well, I wrote this, but it's pretty much what the both of them have been saying. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Celebrate my mom's life. She was truly a special person. By evidence of all of you that took your time out of your day to join us. People near and far, people that weren't able to come, that have sent many wonderful comments over the last day, week, month. People would even often stop in the store and say, how's your parents doing, or how's your mom doing, you know, and just shows what a great impression she left on them, for them to take the time to stop in the store, stop in the grocery store, stop us cold and say, how's your mom doing, what are they up to, you know. It's just a wonderful testament to, again, how caring she was, how much she thought of everybody else to take time out of her day for them as well. I tell people all the time I was very lucky to have been raised by two wonderful, very caring, happy people. We always joked about how how we grew up in like Disneyland or Mayberry, you know, like what a wonderful area in life we were able to enjoy. Well, that was thanks to two wonderful parents. It might be because I was the favorite in the family. May shock some of you, I know, but it's easy for me to say too, because when my parents were with each and every one of us, they'd always pull us aside and pull Terry aside or Tracy and, you know, you're really our favorite. He'd say that to Bill and Deborah and Krista, wherever. But, you know, she really took pride in everybody, how special each one of us were, all in our own way. That was one of the neat things about her. She'd always understand and know how wonderful everybody was, each in their own way. She always found the positiveness in people. She was always that cup half full person rather than half empty. I guess that's where I got a little bit of my that'll be fine attitude, you know. Things will always work out. Probably some of my artistic ability as well. Terry's right. She was always a very busy person, never one to sit around much. I think I inherited that attribute as well, good or bad. I think she would want us all to remember how special and important each and every one of us is. As Harold said, how important it is to keep the family ties, just friendship among everybody. I know it's hard sometimes reaching out, but life is too short not to embrace all the greatness that the world has to offer. as she did. God, family, good friends. Those are all very important to her. She never strayed away from helping anyone. So, I just wanted to say thank you for all your kindness, all your friendship. My cup runneth over. Thank you.
So I want to thank y'all for being here, and Reynolds-Jonkhoff Funeral Home. I can't think of anyone who hasn't passed through these doors in our family. I was going through some of Mom and Dad's stuff from the house. Maybe you saw the wedding book out there. Underneath the wedding book is a diary she kept of Christmases starting in 1960. Each year, presents that she gave, the gifts, the cards, and then she wrote a little page just about what was going on. And she kept that diary up every year in that little loose leaf gray book you see out there. I wasn't really sure I was going to tell this story, but I think I can make it. In honor of Uncle Pearlie, her mom's brother, my mom's Uncle Pearlie. He was quite the jokester. And there's a story about a little piece of string that goes into a bar, and the bartender looks at the piece of string and says, "Hey, we don't serve your kind, get out of here." And sitting at the bar was another piece of string with a braid in it, and it was having a fine old time, and it saw this other sad piece of string walk out the door, so the braided string followed the other string out the door and said, "Here, I got a plan. Hold still, tie a knot in the top, fluff it up a little bit, and come on, here's what you tell the bartender, let's go back inside." So they go back inside, the braided string sits down to his chair, and the other piece of string with a knot and the tassel on top says, "Bartender, I'll have a beer." Bartender looks at the string and goes, "Do I know you?" And the string says, "Afraid not." "Oh, fine, so what do you have?" Aside from that, the other things, there was this little ditty from my dad, and on the front it says, "Lee always." Good thing it's short. Inside it says, "Lee, my best half." Okay, you did a fine job. Thank you. "My Lee, you are my favorite person, my greatest friend, and my only love, past, present, and always. All that, and I like you for what you are, kind, thoughtful, creative, and best of all, for reasons I don't deserve you. You love me, you're my chickadee, my love, my one and only." God has blessed me with you as my partner for life, and I thank him every day. Your partner for life, Bill. I told that joke because I thought my mom was that kind of person, our mom. She could make something special out of practically nothing. Thanks.
And just like all of you, we all have cherished memories of Leanne, right? It amazes me, as all three of them said, is how everyone in here has stopped their day to show their love and respect, right? And I'm sure, I know all three of you, even the other family members, if you would look behind you, you got a whole house filled with love that will never be broken, no matter what. So take those moments that you have of her and begin the new journey. As I mentioned earlier, she was always right here in your heart. She's always up here in your thoughts. How lucky you all were to have her in your life, right? One of the things that really connected me when I was speaking was the last few years of her life here. She took on a new chapter of hers, which was baking. If I may ask, how many of you have had her chocolate chip cookies or her cookies in general? Yes, but good. I'm super jealous because I am a big sweet tooth fan, even though my fiance has cut back on cooking, just sugars in general. But anyways, where I'm getting at is those cookies live on, right? The baking lives on, the cherished memories, right? Don also shared with me about the chickadees. He pulled me aside one afternoon and he's like, "Hey, I got a great story for you, Hal. You're not going to believe what they just found, what we came across about the urn that she'll be placed in." That's my impersonation of Don, if you guys were wondering. So, anyways, the joy that he had to serve the three of you, as well as the whole family. You guys are so lucky to have had Don to do this for you guys, right? And I'm also going to say this for Don and everyone here at Reynolds. We are also here for each and every one of you. If you need to call us. If you want to hang out with us, door's always open, right? So I can promise you by moving forward, I'm going to try to live like her. I'm going to slow down things. I'm going to follow my dreams, be more calmer, have more of that attitude of, it's fine, for the most part. And it will be fine. You know why? Because you have each other. We have each other. I promised the family that that the service would be roughly around 30 to 40 minutes. 34 minutes. The way that I promised it would be. So as we conclude this service, I want to remind you to never give up, to be the light, to keep on smiling, and at the end of the day, be you. Okay? I'd like to pray over you if that's okay, and it's just a simple prayer that I always pray with family and loved ones, and that is, Heavenly Father, I thank you for this moment. I thank you for the gift of Leanne and her family and friends. I thank you that you can allow us to stop our day and focus on the love that you have given us, the creation that you have given us, the gift you have given us. And for all of you, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he let his face shine upon you. May he always walk beside you and love you. Amen. Amen. I'd like to remind you at this time to please turn on your cell phones, okay, to communicate with one another. And again, thank you for entrusting us with the care of a wonderful woman. It has been our honor to serve you and your family. If you'd like to come up and share and pay your respects as before the procession, Don will come back in and give you more details of what that is. So I'm going to hand it over back to Don, but go in peace and stay strong. Thank you.
On behalf of Lee's family, I'd like to thank Harold for his wonderful message here today. I'd also like to thank each and every one of you for joining us. I've been asked to invite you to a meal or a time together, a time of sharing. It's going to take place at James's home, which is located at 10033 East Skyline Court, and that's in Traverse City here. That's going to take place right after we go out to Grand Traverse Memorial Gardens for burial. Procession to the cemetery is going to take a little bit longer because there's some construction. So we are going to go out and around the long way, but if you stay in line, I'll make sure we make it there together, okay? This does conclude our services. May you go in peace. Thank you.